Hey everybody, we're live, which is great because we're gonna kick this thing off with some crazy old templates. So as many of you know, this is gonna be kind of a big week for nerddom. We've got Justice League Snyder Cut coming out, but also we have Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming out, which I am super excited for personally. And so to that end, I managed to track down this really awesome Civil War Falcon set that we were able to re-unfold. This is already done. Good evening, Melvin. But this is already done. This isn't something we're going to be delving too deeply into tonight. But this is actually what it looks like if you have a full suit in Pep. Some of the stuff is symmetrical, some of it's not. So of course we've got only the one shoulder here. But we do have, both gauntlets. And that's just kind of the nature of the thing. Huge credit to Luis Chavez for his modeling prowess here. Couldn't have done it without him. But we did go ahead and put our own spin on it and put some extra hekkin detail in there. I'm really actually quite proud of the way the goggles wound up coming into just like a couple pieces here. We really managed to put a lot of it together there. There's good detail, but there's also like a lot of simplicity, which is everything you're looking for in foam. Also, I've just about figured out my new green screen, so this is gonna be a good live stream. It's gonna be a good stream. So these are free. Celebrate the release of some cool stuff. But down in the description, these templates are totally free. My benevolence knows no bounds. I'm kidding. No, this was a real joy to put together. And I really hope to see somebody get a real kick out of it, frankly. Especially the boots. Like, I didn't realize his boots were so hefty. They're really cool looking. But enough about this. Let's come to some stuff that I have been wanting to do for a while. We have two different Star Wars helmets today. I have an Imperial Artillery Gunner, which I think you could call a trooper. I'm going to call it a trooper. Our ongoing affair with all things trooper. But then we also have a blue Senate Guard, which I managed to track down quite by accident. I was just kind of trolling on Caterbox the other day. So we got both of these to play through. Does anybody have any preference as to which one we start with tonight? We're going to try and get through both of them. But these are both really fun in my opinion. Especially like the way the texture is set up in this one. So fun fact, you can web textures to specific areas on a thing. The Senate. Alright, we'll start with the Senate Guard. But fun fact, you can web textures to specific areas. And so in this one, all that blue is one texture, all that black is one texture, and all that gray is another. Well, it's no texture, but I don't know. Do I have a texture image I could specify? Yeah, let's specify a dark black. Sure, there we go. And so they're whew, K-Snake gone and instantly redacted whatever the heck that was. Alright, let's dive right in. So I've already gone through and done a lot of the 3D here. You can see I've mapped out the big areas. The one thing I'm a little concerned with is I think that this is going to be a little too big to be one piece. So I'm inclined to break it up. The thing is, there's a part of me that really wants to break it up, like right in the middle here. So maybe we leave that sort of for the 2D. Or maybe I just kind of go to town here. Let's divide some edges. Yes, I'm aware this is probably not the easiest way to do this, but it is going to be the fastest because we are, of course, already in Pepakura. And folks who've watched me before will know this is a time-honored trick I have to kind of building a line where there isn't one. Because sometimes you just gotta do. Yeah, now I can map that across here. Yeah, that'll be really, really smooth, I think, actually. Doop-a-doop. 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 Yeah, no, that's actually where I want it to be. Let's do the same thing on the other side real quick. Is a typo? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see here. Plus this down. For those of you who don't know, K-Snake is one of my many patrons, and we thank him very graciously for his patronage. Go, work it back down here, creating this line. We're going to hide a lot of the extraneous lines anyway, so it's not a huge deal that we're going through and doing this. Here we go. Right across here. Bop, bop, bop. And then before we go in and do the 2D work, I am going to utilize the subdivision tool just to try and smooth out this line I've created a little bit. This will end up making the final patterns just feel a lot cleaner anyways. Excuse me one moment. There we are. And so yeah, that's kind of the goal here, is we're just trying to make a slightly easier to understand template. Let's see here. Oh, and that once on both sides all the way down. I could try to double click it. I'm actually just really nervous. No, see, it goes haywire. We're not going to do that. There we go. And now, when I press go, there we go. It just sort of subtly smooths those lines. You can see it was a lot blockier before, and now it's going to be a lot easier to put together. So, let's do just that. If I were to go unfold, this is really tall. It's not 46 inches tall, but it's like that tall. Where's my... Somewhere I have a ruler. Here's a... That's 12 inches. This goes down to the neck here. Say this goes up to about here. So it's like 8 inches. It's like 20 inches tall-ish. We'll call it 19 and a half for science. And then we unfold. I've got all my edges there. And you can already kind of see some of the shapes I blocked out really popping out. Like we've got this over the top of the head feature. Looks like the the visor's mostly together there. Here, we'll actually start right here. It's one of the most recognizable pieces. This should be pretty easy. Yeah, there we go. And then we're just laying the edges of it around it to sort of act as flaps when we're building this. Because of course, if we were to make a visor for this piece right here, it would have to be slightly bigger than the opening it goes in. So this is actually a very important step if you're going through this. You would have to do this manually in real world space if you didn't do it here. So this is just a really fun shortcut to making your life easier in the long run. Whoops. Go. Yeah, there we go. Chip. And actually, when I go through and join these edges in a minute here, you'll see it kind of blends it all together into one big edge flap anyway. So this works out pretty well. It really does. Okay, so we got the visor right here. Let's see, this doesn't really need a ton of extra unfolding. I might edit it just slightly so that it's a little more straight on. So we'll put one of these this way, one of those way, and now it's a lot straighter, at least. I'll say that. Actually, that looks straighter to me. And if I were to actually rotate this, yeah, that looks pretty good to me. Yeah, I'm gonna call that good. Got that next piece here. Let's see, I could get one side of the head here because this also needs to come all the way down and around there and become the other side of the head. So it's actually sort of just one piece all the way around. This is kind of my process when I'm going through and doing a lot of templates like this, because my goal is to remove as many pieces as possible by consolidating, not necessarily by just, getting rid of them because I don't care to do them. And so when we go through, we want to make sure that we're preserving the shape while still simplifying to what I might call like the most basic shapes of the actual piece. So in this we've got like sort of an oval that's flattened on the front and the sides there. And so they kind of meet as two pieces that just sort of wrap around each other and go around. And that's what the kind of shape we're trying to get here. Well, not here precisely because this is sort of under the neck. But on the whole, I will say. Here we go. Ooh, so this actually folds so deeply in on itself that we're actually going to make it... Well, actually that depends. How far apart can I bend these? Is it possible? No, I don't think so. I think that's just too far. So we're going to make this two pieces that join in the middle at the bottom of the neck there. And that's actually going to be a pretty inconspicuous place to have a seam, if I'm being honest. Especially since it's in a symmetrical area. You can just kind of get some silicone caulk in there and smooth it over. I gotta tell you, I'm pretty invigorated tonight. It's finally starting to get bright out around the time that I do these live streams again. Live streams, Lord. Although, I'm gonna have to remember that. I will have to remember that. I'm just feeling a lot more energized. It's hard sometimes doing live streams late at night because there's this feeling of like, I got off work to go do work. But really, these are a lot of fun, and I enjoy doing them, and I'm glad that it's a little bright out again, because you get to just sort of enjoy it. There we go. We're gonna do a quick speed run of the other side, just trying to even it out with whatever the heck's going on the first side, because we want it to be nice and symmetrical. I wanna be in the cavalry if they send me off to war. I want a good steed under me like my forefathers before. I want a good mount when the bugle sounds and I hear the cannons roar. I want to be in the cavalry that must go off to war. You thought about making a helmet out of a Daft Punk. I've made Daft Punk templates, actually. You can check it out over on our Facebook. We did full templates for both Thomas and Guy helmets. And there's actually a time lapse of our work over there. You know, I should upload all those time lapse videos of Pepakura over here too, because I bet you they get views. But more importantly, I know that there are some people who miss the fact that we have those templates. So I bet you, I mean, check out our Facebook and our Instagram if you're concerned you're missing out on some content. But man, I should upload those over here too because they're cool. I bet. Here, shameless plug for our Facebook. Let's see here, videos. There it is. Yeah, I released. Too much. I released this around the time of our of their unfortunate breakup, but you can actually see I did unfold both of them, and I sped them both up. And it's fun because I was able to find some pretty high detail for what they are, some pretty high detail models that I was able to work from and kind of fiddle with until they suited my needs for foam templates. And we got somewhere pretty sharp in the end. And I'll kind of jump ahead a little bit because we simplified these shapes a lot until you can really approach it. It's a very approachable set of builds, frankly. This is very clear where all these parts go. It's very clear how they go together, and I love that kind of stuff. That stuff makes for great foam Pepakura. And to that end, that's part of why we did it. Plus, fans, just fans. Let's see here. Where were we? Oh yes. So why don't we? Okay, I think these parts are basically unfolded already, so I'm just going to grab them. Yep, both sides of the mane, as it were. And we got the front and the top. Now, the front and the top are slightly bowed, which means they do actually need to be unfolded ever so slightly. But it's virtually nothing. There, that's even enough. The thing about this is that I'll need to make sure that I'm rocking the openings back and forth so I can keep this thing as straight as I can. Let's see here. Here we go. Back this way. That way. This way. That way. This way. And then end in a... Oh, actually, I might be able to... Yeah, I'll kind of keep that way, I think. And let's see. If I go from here to here, how does it look? I'd say that's pretty straight. Yep. Control B brings up a rough grid that you can use to sort of judge your pieces. Now, obviously that isn't perfectly straight. I would probably just cut this straight. But I do think the length measurements are clear. And of course it's scalable, which is the important part when we're talking about this stuff. Here we go. All right, let's grab, I think these parts. Oh, I'm indenting those. Okay, well, let's grab this part then. One side of one side. Again, sort of indenting that black line around the whole of this piece to act as a flap for the side of the face. Just add the side of the face onto that. You're golden. That'll utilize the actual nature of thickness that foam has. And in that way, you'll end up with something that just works better as a template and is easy to put together. Go. The good news is, because it's a flap, we don't have to honor the actual line of it so much as we want to center our actual shape in the mass of the blue there. I know that that was a very roundabout way of saying I don't care if this edge looks weird, but that's the way I chose to say it, and I committed early to that. You know, I can't honestly tell if I answered your question, my best projects, because you're just so quizzical over there. And that's just the way it is now, I guess. Here we go. Kind of don't like that. I kind of wish there was more of a happy medium. Somewhere in there. Yeah, somewhere like this. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Yep. Well, I don't want my settings. Give me that. There we go. Here we go. Here's the next part. Not that part, but that part. I want a horse and a volunteer force that's riding forth at dawn. Please save for me some gallantry that'll echo when I'm gone. Oh, I want a good foot soldier make. I'll be sour and slow at march. I'd be sick on a Navy ship, and the sea would leave me parched. But I'll be first in line if you let me ride. By God, you'll see my starch. Beneath that victory arch. Here we go. Ooh, I'm going to get rid of the texture for just a moment because I'm actually having a little trouble seeing where this black ends and begins. Oops, not that one. There we go. There we go. Now here's an interesting thing, because this isn't just a flap here. This would actually be an undercut due to the nature of how splayed, we'll say, this edge gets. And to that end, I'm going to try to preserve the outer edge on the right-hand side here as best I can. Yeah, because we lose a bit there, gain it back there. I think that's going to be good. Let's try and see what happens when I join these adjacent edges. Like I said, we're trying to preserve that outer right-hand edge as best we can. Survey says, not quite, not quite. Okay, well we might have to sacrifice a little bit there in the name of this laying flat well. Yeah, there we go. I think that's gonna work for us. I do. And now those fold together and are also the side of that there. Impeccable. Why, hello there. Let's see here. Where do we want to go next? Let's see. We're working our way kind of around here. Oh, we're missing an edge at the bottom of this thing here. Hang on. Hey, that's great because it actually pushes it back together a little bit at the bottom there. Let's see. None of this on the bottom is going to be important to us really because, well, it's just kind of not. There we go. I think, I suppose that's sort of an edge. We should build that in, but the rest of it is not important to this build. It's basically just edge piece and construction elements if you were to build this out of paper on the bottom. Photo of a Stormtrooper helmet, and behind I saw a Clone Trooper helmet. You did it with the templates you have on Etsy or are others templates. You say you saw a photo of a Stormtrooper template, a Stormtrooper helmet, and behind it there was a Clone Trooper. Well, now I'm a little confused. I don't actually know what you're referring to. It's gonna be a photo of mine, so I mean, I can check that out. Yeah, again, shameless plug for our Facebook page here. Let's see, a Stormtrooper helmet with a Clone Trooper behind it. Oh, this with that right there? Because this isn't... These are my templates, but this isn't my work. So that's a dude by the name of Irakli, I think. Irakli. I don't know. I apologize. I want to say he used my templates, but I'm not sure. Because I know these are my templates. But yeah, I have a set of Clone Trooper helmet templates. Actually, I have a set of full Clone Trooper armor and Clone Trooper helmets templates on my Etsy store. They're pretty cheap. But I like to think I put a lot of work into them, and I think that they're very good. I have built them in the past. They're very sharp, and you can produce some really good results, some really well shaped results, which I think is really important when you're talking about Clone Troopers because they're pretty sparse design, frankly. You can add a lot of details to them, but at the end of the day, those are details that you're adding, and that's because they're kind of a blank canvas. There's a lot of smooth shapes, a lot of space, where if you're not careful, you can kind of mess up the shape. And I like to think that my templates work very hard to avoid that. That is what I will say about that. Okay, let's see. This kind of goes under the... like in the middle of the chin here is these pieces. So let's break them up a little bit. Put them back together. Make them clean. Make them pretty. The precious. There we go. Look at that. Got that really smooth together. So then let's take this. This is kind of like the keystone in the middle here. Definitely separated, kind of funny. I'm trying to see, is there... I don't think there's any shape detail. I need to find a picture of this thing. Blue Senate Guard helmet. I just don't know if there's actually like a shape there or if it's supposed to be smooth. It looks... I'm actually having trouble figuring this out because it looks kind of like there's a soft edge, but it's not like a separate part. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it in the middle and make it two symmetrical pieces. I think that's what we're going to do. Ah, something disconnected from my computer. I don't know what. Oh no! Oh no! It's the camera! Oh God, what? What happened? This is like the second time this has ever happened. Oh God, no. Oh no, stand by. I've got another battery here. I'm glad I heard that sound. I might not have noticed it right away. Oh God, are we here? We're here. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, everybody. Oh no, my green screen's twigging out now. Oh shoot. Okay, well, say lovey. Here we go. Let's see here. Where were we? We were in the middle of. Oh yeah, we were in the middle of cleaning up this neck. Look at that neck. Ugh. Okay, here we go. Weirdly, this doesn't want to clean up that way, so maybe if I... Okay, that might work. Move here, remove here. Actually, it's set there. Perfect. Let's... Perfect. Okay, let's do it like this. Do you want to do some edits? Oh, no, I don't want to recalculate the parts layout. Ugh. How is that? That's not bad. I might call it there on those pieces. The fun of like, yeah, right? Absolute chaos of live stream, more like. Jeez. Okay, so it looks like all that's left are these these edge pieces slash construction elements, which I'm gonna remove all the construction elements and glue together all the edge pieces so that I can make them look really pretty. It's a big part of my templates is not just making the template itself clean, but trying really hard to actually make the overall piece come together. I think that's a really important element of this stuff. There we go. All right, so that's we're gonna call that done, even though it's not a part of the build. And then we just got to do the same thing we did with these two with this side. Okay, let's actually, I might actually be able to just combine this piece across the back here like this. How's that? That looks pretty good, actually. I might go this route. This route might be fun. Let's see, because if we, okay, so then, yep, okay. Yeah, there we go. And now it's basically one piece. And I think, yep, because this shouldn't, I don't think this is going to intersect in the middle. So unlike the front of it, which bowed so far in, we had to separate this from that, this can all be one piece, I think, which is great. Anywhere we can eliminate seams eliminates a place that we would need to hide a seam, and that is always a delight. Now, that doesn't mean some builds can be done like without seams. That's not gonna, it's not gonna pan out well for you, frankly, because seams help you. Seams beget shape, basically. So if you're not careful, you're gonna end up with, no shape. That's not good, frankly. Let's try that. There we go. I could hypothetically try to add this to that, but then it wouldn't make as nice and tight a curve in there between these two pieces. So we're not going to do it that way because it will be sacrificing, fit and finish at that point. When really we only want to be sacrificing a little bit of, maybe just a little, like a hair of detail that maybe we're never going to get in foam, I'm man enough to admit that there's some things you just can't do in foam well. It just doesn't happen. There we go. Oh, that is tight. tight. Let's see here. That looks great, though. That looks great, and it'll be super easy to put together like that. We'll grab this stuff then. And we're going to finish this up, and it's 6:30 right now! We're like at the halfway point of the live stream, which is great. I had a whole other helmet for us to look at. So, you know, gotta look at that helmet. Let's see here. Just gonna crudely copy and paste essentially everything that we did on the one side to the other side. This is definitely a live stream of like the 2D element more so than the 3D, but I think that this is good. I think this is an important thing to kind of hinge on occasionally, because sometimes we get really caught up in how much work we can, you know, do away with in the 3D. What's going on here? This goes up like this. Yep, there we go, just like that. Put it across, stick it in. There we go. There we go, that was the breakthrough. And now we're basically going to center it on this line the whole way across. Here we go. You know, this thing is growing on me. Like, I wasn't super convinced I was going to love this helmet when I first found it. You know, it's just kind of a neat thing, but it's grown on me. I like it. Now, what the heck is going on here? What are these? Oh my gosh, I completely lost everybody. What is going on with my stream tonight? This is insane. I have no idea what's going on. God, that's super weird. I've also done a lot of the 3D work in this one. God, I'm so bummed that this has been such a buggy stream, because I'm so jazzed right now. Let's see. I think that's probably gonna be enough. Why don't we just go for it? Because this is basically like these tiny little details. They're basically non-existent. You know, they're like circles, just little circles. He said doing it anyways. What's wrong with me? Why am I doing this? Well, this is happening now, I guess. I guess I'm finishing up some of these tiny details. I suppose it will technically be easier in the 3D here rather than the 2D. Oh, I'm a monster. Okay, that's okay. There we go. Let's call that. Yeah, because I can't quite see in there. There's like some intersecting faces there, so we'll have to do that. The rest of that in the 2D menu here. 52 inches. What? No. We're gonna call that like 18 because of the antenna there. That's ridiculous. Yeah, this seems rightish. There we go. We'll grab the hello, Melina. Good to see ya. We are just working on. We just finished a Senate guard. We are now working on an Imperial Artilleryman. Artilicer. Artilikic. Actually, I might pull up a photo. Yeah, it's not called an artillery trooper. It's like a Death Star gunner. Yep, that's what it is. It's a Death Star gunner. Oh, cool. It's got like colors on some of those dealy bobs. It's not just black. I remember Star Wars. Certainly. I think the back bit is basically just going to be two parts, though, because I want the shape to sort of come out in the pattern, not just in heat forming. So we're going to separate it down the center and make it sort of symmetrical pattern that just builds the back sort of bug shape of this helmet. Go, just like that. Ooh, sorry if my mouth is coming off a little strange. I had a little more dental work done today, so it was a bit of a day. Loaded up on ibuprofen, ready to face the world. Oh, shine on me in the morning, shine on me with a light in the lighthouse, shine on me. Oh, shine on me in the evening, shine on me. I wonder if the lighthouse will shine on me. Wonder if the light will shine. My wild Irish rose, my rose, the sweetest flower that grows. You may search everywhere, but there's none can compare with my wild Irish rose. My wild Irish rose, the dearest flower that grows. Someday for my sake she may let me take the bloom from my wild Irish rose, my rose, the bloom from my wild Irish rose, wild Irish rose. Can't hit that note. There we go. Doesn't matter how much dental work or screaming I've done in the day, just can't hit that note. That's okay. Go. Okay, that looks pretty cool. I'm seeing it here. There's the side of the head. This hand's the strip at the bottom here. Can I indent that? Maybe. Let's see. I won't send roses. No, I'm gonna start that one higher. I won't send roses or hold the door. I won't remember what dress you wore. My heart is too much in control. The lack of romance in my soul will turn you gray, kid. So turn away, kid. Forget my shoulder when you're in need, forgetting birthdays is guaranteed. And should I love you, you would be the last to know. I won't send roses, and roses suit you so. My pace is frantic, my temper cross, with words romantic. I'm at a loss. I'd be the first one to agree that I'm preoccupied with me. And it's inbred, kid. So keep your head, kid. In me you'll find things like guts and nerve, but not the kind things that you deserve. So while there's a fighting chance, just turn and go. I won't send roses, and roses suit you so. I won't send roses, roses suit you so. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. I'm making piecing them together look really easy. I mean, I've been doing this a really long time. There's definitely some simpler models in. I have there's a. Oh God, what is it? There's a playlist of all of these Pep Tuesdays, and if you start kind of near the beginning, you'll definitely see some of the simpler models. And then, of course, working our way up to crazy stuff, kind of like this, where we're dealing with very complex shapes, very strange angles. You know, we get there. We really do get there. It's sort of a building process. You start in one place until you're just finally somewhere else. Right, let's see. I'm going to... That kind of goes up there. Bop, bop, bop. The actual visor piece here is not terribly complicated. So we're actually just... I think we're gonna, is this the, ah, dang it, I got the wrong side up. So this doesn't actually attach to anything right there. This is like an adjacent head. Any tips on your thought process, like dart orientation? So if, for instance, in this piece, there's kind of a point to some of these rounded parts. So I kind of let the point go across to there. So here you can actually kind of see, if I just ramp all this down, you can see the larger dart is pointing in the direction of that point. Now, for rounded shapes like this, I'm probably going to wind up doing very round shapes going down radially, because this is very domed. Whereas for like a Stormtrooper, which is very flat on the top, I tend to do sort of sideways darts, because I'm still going to get that round shape, but it's going to be slightly more angular, if you will, giving it that sort of vacuformed look. And sometimes the direction of your dart is really just dependent... Oh, whoops. The direction of your darts is really just dependent on what's working for you. You know, if I can't get the pieces to lay together properly in one orientation, I'm going to reorient, I'm going to regroup, I'm going to start over. This is a fun instance of sort of an origami box that you have to create if you want to do it that way. Otherwise, you could just take this rectangle and stack it and just bevel the edges. But that's sort of the difference between just general building and Pepakura. That's neither here nor there, frankly. There is all the circles. There's that 3D work paying off. The little rectangle goes right there. Let's see, we'll grab that, that, and that. Oop, nope, and that. And we say, wildly unnecessary parts. Don't want them. Get rid of them. Actually, we don't need these parts either. We'll just... all the undesired parts. Just unnecessary, not what we need. This antenna... I'm always so torn because, like, Pepakura antennas are very, very, very useless for foam. But at the same time, they're a great indicator of how long your pieces should end up being. So I like to keep, like, one rectangle of it kept together so that I could say, my final piece should be that long in order to keep the scale right. And then the rest of it I just kind of get rid of because it's not super necessary for the build. I don't recommend trying to fold up a Pepakura, like, antenna or, like, tube stick thing. It's just not going to pan out very well. I just won't. Let's see this. What's going on here? This is like... there's like a neck piece here. I think I'm going to leave that there. Crop this off of here. And say, hey, what's going on? I said, hey, what's going on? Can I see inside? Can I see what's going on? Not really. It's kind of hard to see. I don't like that. Okay, so this is kind of in the way of a head, so I probably wouldn't build that piece. There we go. Yeah, I try to... so here's something that I don't talk about a lot in terms of the way I orient my darts and my pieces. I try very, very hard to avoid undercuts on outward-facing things, unless I think it just kind of makes sense. So here's what I mean. I like doing valley cut undercuts, which is if I were to cut under here and then bow it out, valley cut. But I don't like mountain cut undercutting in foam because I think it ends up in a very rounded look that is only appropriate on like more organic shapes. If I want to make an edge, a hard edge between two things, and the only way to do that is with two different pieces coming together, because otherwise you get very, very rounded shapes, sort of like this right here. And I don't like that for a ton of things. I like it for some things, but not others. So for instance, on my, you can actually see on these Mando gauntlets, which I'm very, very proud of. They came out very nicely. There's a lot of undercuts going out, but not a lot of undercuts going in. All these bevels that you're seeing are actually bevels in the foam or sanded in, etc. Because I want that stuff to look really, really sharp. Let's see here. Can I add this to the pile of things that are not actually important to the final piece here? There we go. Yeah, that works. Don't need that though. That can kind of go over here. You can see, just in terms of making sure the shape made sense, I did do some outer cuts here that would essentially be mountain folds, if you will. But that's just the nature of the beast. Now, what's going on in here? This does actually close all the way around, despite it being sort of overlapped funny. Is this? This is this way. Yeah, this is this way because this is the side that has the rectangle cut out of it. Okay. Ha 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 ha. Okay, and then this side. Oh, this dome is actually very, very clean. Quite happy with that. I think I can actually get away with it basically in two parts with a dart on either side. We are going to go sort of vertical with that on this one. What am I looking at? Why is this here? What does this connect to? Yeah, normally I use this as like a dart or a flap going around the edge, but that's not really going to work here. So we're just going to kind of ignore it, as it were. We're going to just get rid of it. As useless edge piece number 5. Oh, that can be added to this useless piece that I don't like. Ha 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 ha. There we go. There we go. And what are you? You're the other side of one of these edges. There we go. So we just gotta clean up the dome real quick, and then in and out, we're done. This has been a very tidy build. Quite happy with it, honestly. Let's see, this is like 6 long, so we're gonna do like 2 this way. I'm using like vague rules of thumb here to try and encompass big shapes. I'm pushing the larger darts towards symmetrical pieces, and the shorter darts towards the parts that I actually need to sort of gauge whether or not they're fitting together properly. There we go. Yep. That will need to line up there better. Yep, we'll separate it here. Even that out. Even whatever the heck's going on here out. I think when we join these adjacent edges, it's going to be a little wonky at first, but then it's going to clean up very nicely. Let's try that. Yep. And then we can actually clean one side up a little bit more because it's got a gap missing in it. So, you know, they're not perfectly symmetrical parts. There are perfectly symmetrical edges, but not perfectly symmetrical parts here, which is maybe splitting hairs, but here we are. There we go. Bop, bop. This way, just like that, just like that. And then to join these adjacent edges, what I would end up doing is separating those so that I don't get weird extra darts in there. And then we'll see, this might also need it. I can't tell. It didn't. There we go. Yep. Ooh, it's almost all of it. I think we're gonna wind up closing that in favor because. Yep, there we go. And this can the rest of this can basically be addressed with heat forming. We're gonna hide all these lines real quick, just like we did on the other one, and then we're gonna get the heck out of here because it has been an hour. It has been a full night. It's been really nice, honestly. Get rid of those. All of these lines. Is there any? Yeah, there are lines that I need to keep on this one. And I think on this one, oh yeah, because we want to keep that line there. There we go. And then we're going to keep one line up around this whole thing. I'm going to get rid of these textures for a moment because they're looking a little distracting. There we go. Now you can see I'm sort of building the collar here, but the rest of it is just smooth. Smooth, guys. What you did do there, it was too quick. What are you referring to? Are you referring to the joining of the adjacent edges, where I got rid of all of the darts until it was just smooth parts? Is that what you're referring to? Where it suddenly became solid parts rather than parts with lots of little darts? I want to make sure I'm answering the right question. Because I can even demo with another model again before we duck out of here. Okay, so basically what I did is I told the model, hey, I know there's little tiny darts all over this pattern, but I don't care about some of them because they're too small. But you can ramp up how big it responds to that. So, to that end, here, we're going to just, yeah, we'll keep one edge there because it is actually pretty solid. None of this needs lines. None of those need lines. All I need are the box lines around the edge of this. No lines. And none of that. There we go. Oh no, I missed one. Eck. Okay, and then let's join this right here, that right there. Actually, join those like there. Create even more rounded edge. Here, actually, I can kind of show you. So this is just sort of a microcosm of what I just did to the whole thing. But I'm going to go in and see. I don't want it to have that open edge right there. It's small enough that I think I could do without it. So I go to Join Adjacent Edges, which is in the 2D menu. And that lets me join sort of these adjacent edges that are open to a threshold. I'm going to say like 1 millimeter here. That wasn't enough. So let's try, oops. Let's try it again, 2D menu. Join Adjacent Edges. Let's try 2 millimeters. There we go. And that joins those edges together just like that. And then I'm going to hide those lines. And now I've got one side, two side. And of course the one side has the rectangular space missing and the other doesn't. And that's how I'm going to do that part. I might go back in and add some registration marks. I can paint those back in with my line tool here. If I go to the hidden line and just go to paint and I can start, you know, I can be like that and there and like that. Look, all these lines that line up. There we go. And now I've got registration marks all the way up and down this thing. Or I could add them like right here in the middle of this thing. Except that's not necessary over there because that doesn't actually line up there. Or I can add them on here. Be like, bam. Look at that line all painted back in. Now they line up. Ta-ta-ta-ta-da. Let's see, I could probably add like one registration mark along the underside of the chin as well. I think the rest of this might be kind of unnecessary. I mean, that's the center. That's the center. That's useful information, I think. But the rest of this is pretty unimportant. Let's get rid of that. Don't need this. 3D reset model view. Okay, we want that. We want that. We want this. We want 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. I'm going to keep the little antenna gauge. Why not? But then we only need one side of that. We will keep that. We only need one side of that. So 2 more pieces of this. Ooh, no, we do want this. So 2 more pieces of this aren't necessary for print, but the rest of this we would just rearrange on the pages here. Go to print paper settings, letter. Oh, it's already a pretty good tolerance there. Yep. And I would just sort of rearrange these until they all fit on pages. And that's kind of the gist of it. So let's see, we've got this guy, and then we also finish a Senate Guard, which also looks quite nice. So this has been a very productive night. I'll finish fiddling with these, and then I'll release them. I've also, don't forget, we did just release full armor for Falcon. This is the Civil War variant. Huge thanks again to Luis Chavez for, you know, putting these models out. They're awesome, and I had a lot of fun really simplifying this one until we got to a really cool place with it. Huge shout out to my patrons before we duck out of here. Benjamin Stanley, Laura, Ruben, Matt G, Jennifer Zayer, Pan Dulce, K Snake, and of course Austin VJ plays piano. Thank you all so much for being a part of this. We're going to be doing another patron poll to determine some new Pepakura coming up here. So please check that out. If you like these builds, if you like this channel, subscribe and consider supporting us. We love to be able to do this. We love to be able to put this stuff out. It's honestly my greatest joy when I can. But for now, I want to thank you all so much for joining me. This has been a blast tonight. And of course, as always, please take care.